Good afternoon to you all my fellow CLL supporters and support members. I guess I'm the warm-up act before Toby joins, which could be at any point, so I'll keep an eye out for him. Hope you find the next 15 minutes interesting. I want to take you through a little bit about what the CLL Support, your charity, has been doing, and consider volunteering to be a trustee or an associate trustee or a champion in some shape or form. We're open to ideas. A bit of background. The charity started in 2004 when a group of CLL patients and CLL specialists from the CLL Forum met. Professor Tony Hambling, who was the founder of the CLL Forum of UK Specialists, along with Professor Daniel Katowski, and they all believed that it was a key need for greater involvement, interaction, and the ability for members, patients, and their families to understand the disease more and be involved and understand the treatments and options, and to influence medical developments, trials, and treatment pathways more. So in 2004, I think they started up, and over the past 18 years, the new charity created over that first meeting as a patient's at a patient's home has grown and developed beyond, well, comprehension really to me. It's now one of the largest and most successful patient-led charities in the UK. And it's patient-led by volunteers, people who have CLL or care for someone, partner someone with CLL, or sadly lost someone to CLL. We are the recognised patient charity of the CLL Forum of specialists in CLL, SLL, researchers and scientists across the UK, as I say. And because we're volunteers, all the money raised goes in developing the website, the books, the resources, the webinars, and so on. It's there for patients, their partners, and family members. And over the years, they have regularly volunteered to become champions or trustees for a period to help the community, the 50,000 across the UK with CLL, to manage the charity and provide the services and resources for the benefit of CLL patients. Don't forget, it's also for partners and family and friends. And I would encourage you to, as I've done, my wife and both my children are members, and they find it fascinating. Indeed, they know more about the disease, the treatment, and what I should be doing, and keep me in line when I try to do silly things sometimes. So the charity is underpinned and supported by the knowledge of the CLL Forum, and we are now recognised and collaborate very regularly with other blood cancer charities, the NHS, government bodies, and indeed even global coalitions of CLL charities and institutions. So from those humble beginnings, we now have recruited people from a whole range of backgrounds to help manage, support, and deliver the services you've got. People such as, we've got from an ex-GP, we've got a Professor Emeritus Medical, we've got company directors, teachers, a deep sea diver, housewives, and even me, humble me, an ex-telephone engineer that wanted to do something for myself, to learn more about it and help other trustees. All volunteers, all step forward to do jobs to help the charity develop. I've made friends, I've learned a lot, and it's helped me ensure that I know what the treatment options, pathways, the vaccinations I should have, what to do, going out in the sun, all those sorts of things. And as I say, all volunteers with expenses only refunded. So the vast majority of the funds that you raise through fund giving, through subscriptions, wills, gifts, as Gail said, and also educational donations from the 5 key pharmaceuticals in the UK that provide the CLL treatments, all goes on providing the benefits and services we all enjoy now and can see on this first slide. So we have over 3,000 members. Please encourage your family, friends to join as well, because that helps get us leverage when we lobby with government, when we put surveys out, when we give feedback to them. They teed us. And on Health Unlocked online, for those who are part of that, we're now nearly 20,000 strong online globally. We're a victim of our own success, really. So we've got people from America, Canada, Asia, India, Europe, as well as the UK on there. Many from different backgrounds, sharing knowledge, supporting each other. So I would strongly recommend, again, it's free, doesn't cost anything. The conferences and webinars, when the pandemic hit, obviously we had to move across to webinars, and well done, Lewis and the team there for getting it up and running quickly. Well done to Gail and people like Nora and Sarah who help on the helpline. And although it's not manned 24/7, we do ensure that the messages on there, we aim to get back to that person within 48 hours. Newsletters, again, because of the pandemic, we accelerated. I think they're a monthly or 6 weekly now, giving the latest up-to-date information on COVID, treatment pathways, vaccinations, and so on. And all of it is on the CLL Support website. We have champions, over 100 champions, and I'll explain later how they're involved in helping develop trials, volunteer for studies, give feedback, do podcasts to researchers, etc. And the fabulous under 60s that Nora leads and Gail supports there, for people who are working and have family and have obviously different demands and issues to people like myself who are retired. And that's thriving. I know they go for walks on a regular basis. It's a WhatsApp-based group, and it's a lot of fun, as I understand it. I just wish I was still under 60. I wish I had hair as well, but I don't have it anymore. And people like you working together have achieved this. So let's look. So as I say, what we're looking for now is baton passing, as I would call it. It's a relay race. So we put it in a newsletter. I hope you read the last newsletter. You saw me inviting people, welcoming people to put their hand up. We've started getting some people getting interest on there. New trustees, if you're interested, would start as associates. So they would learn, they would be mentored and buddied by existing trustees. So as we find out what you're interested in, what you would like to learn, what expertise, skills you bring in, we make sure that you're supported all through to be able to do the job well and feel comfortable to do it. We try to match the interest to the experience of volunteers, and you'll be coached and supported over time before becoming a trustee. Those that are interested, we propose a showcase webinar for those interested in becoming either champions, trustees, or associate trustees. An opportunity to chat to people like myself and other trustees. We can share what we do, answer your questions. And then if you're still interested, we can start the process of interviewing and selection and getting you on board. So please drop an email to me if you're interested in applying, or if you want to speak to me beforehand, please do. You're all welcome. As I say, I was a humble telephone engineer, and look at me now. I'm chair of trustees there, but I've got a wonderful team around me. Let me give you a flavour of the work we've been involved in the past 6 months. With the pandemic coming back and the issue of the PCR and priority treatment letters, we discovered 27,000 of the 44,000 diagnosed with CLL in the UK were not sent the PCR kits and priority letters due to human error. This has now been corrected, and you should be getting them now. And we discovered another concern from some of our members who have reported and worked with us on this issue, that GPs have not been correctly coding. When you're diagnosed with CLL, there's a coding mechanism, and the coding was incorrectly coded for CLL. So we're now looking at that. I'll come on to that in a minute. So we're looking to make sure GPs are aware, new patients are aware of the code they should be under. We're part of a global coalition of some 60 CLL charities and medical institutions that have been working together since the pandemic to raise awareness and lobby relevant authorities in each country on the situation the vulnerable have found themselves in since the pandemic lockdown has been lifted, and the need to make sure we're given special treatment, we get the vaccines, we get the priority. Obviously, life must go on, but we want to make sure we're given every opportunity and every aspect of treatment that's available for those that get COVID in there. The new website is linked to something called the Support Act. Please do go on it if you haven't seen it. Again, specialists through the CLL Forum and our trustees have worked together to provide a collection of emotional well-being exercises based on something called the Acceptance and Commitment Therapy Act, ACT. And think of Support Act as a toolbox. I've used it, my wife has used it, from which you can select, depending where you're feeling, if you're stressed, if you're concerned, if you want to relax, the appropriate tool for your given emotional at that time. We're now taking it a step further, and we're trialing some online small group sessions with the specialists there using the Act to help them over a period of time. So we're trialing it to see if that adds value and that helps other people. We've shared it with the Blood Cancer Coalition of 14 blood cancer charities from Blood Cancer UK down, and with Cancer 52, a niche player of 52 small charities, and we're making it readily available free to their communities, and they're benefiting from it now. So as I say, we're now in the middle of trialing the small group therapy sessions on the online platform, and we'll keep you posted how that goes and whether it's something we can fund and develop if it's successful going forward. The webinars has been a transformation, continued to be in high demand, with the 500 places that are available being filled within days, hours in some cases, of being advertised. I talked about trials and projects, particularly the champions have been great coming forward and volunteering on there. So champions and trustees are heavily involved with, particularly three I want to mention. NIHRI, which is the sort of digital research and development part of the NHS. We're developing and combine with an app in partnership with an external company for remote monitoring of people with chronic diseases to minimize the time that they need to spend in hospital if they're on watch and wait or active monitoring. This group has been set up across a group of chronic diseases, and we've got a strong CLL representation in there. And we now plan a second group in there, because the first group is focused on people who are digitally scared of using apps, etc. And now we want a group that are more diverse in gender, ethnicity, education, and location. So we make sure the app gets the maximum benefit for us as patients. And we've already got volunteers for that second group from as far as the Orkneys to join. So that's the remote monitoring digital app, and that's, I think, will be an exciting development. And it's going to be trialled in Leeds, Sheffield, and Kings in London, I believe. Piers Patton, who sits on the executive committee, is the key lead and invited us to help find the patients, get the focus groups and the support going using the CLL membership. You may have heard David Bartlett on a couple of webinars ago looking at fitness and CLL. He did research in the States to show there is a strong link between your fitness and your longevity with CLL. And he's now repeating the research project over here in Surrey, and we had an overwhelming response for that. So again, we will track how that develops. We'll get him to present on a regular basis on webinars, and mostly some of the people who are on the trial to see what they think of it and whether it's benefited, what they do, etc. So we can all learn from it. And all that knowledge will be taken and put into resources on the website around health, diet, and exercise and mental well-being. So you have all the tools available, free to use as and when. Okay, let me look. I'd also like to mention the other thing we're working on. I've mentioned the GP guide with codes missing. So we're working with the CLL Forum to produce a guide for GPs and newly diagnosed people to say, this is the code, these are the signs and symptoms, this is what should happen next. So learning from the best. And Toby Eyre, you'll be speaking to, his team led that with Leanne Palmer, clinical nurse specialist, and Julie, another one, to develop that for the Oxford Trust area. We're looking to spread it out and develop it so it can go to all GP surgeries across the UK. And it helps answer some of the initial questions from GPs, as well as early diagnosed people. And the information will be on their fingertips as to what vaccines They should have dietary, exercise, etc., to make sure there's a common standard across the UK with new diagnosis. As I said, we're a member of the Blood Cancer Alliance and Cancer 52. And last but not least, I want to mention the member survey currently underway. I'm delighted that as of today, 680 returned. Nearly 50 are from partners, family or friends, which is key to help us understand what your needs are, what your concerns, where you are in your treatment pathway or your journey with CLL, so we can focus on the things that matter to you. So I'm hoping that you will look at the whole piece of being a volunteer for CLL support. Think about it. Do please write to us. You're not obliged to do anything at that point. If you just want to be interested, want to know more, we can do a showcase webinar. I can talk to you on the phone or email with any answers that you want on there.